What's going on, guys? Today we are continuing our videos on cyber insurance and going over the reasons why you need cyber insurance if you're in business, any business. Today we're going to take two policies, we're going to compare them side by side. The reason we're doing this is because, like we always talk about, not all insurance policies are created equally. You don't just want to go on the first quote you get or the cheapest quote you get, because there are differences that can mean the world of difference if and when you have a cyber insurance claim. So let's jump into it. Let's look at the differences, and hopefully this helps you when you are shopping for a cyber insurance policy. Okay, so here we are. We have a company here that does about $800,000 in revenue. Their record count is right about 2,400. And we have two quotes here. Now, if you look at it real quickly, and not look at any other factors, you look at this one and you say, okay, it's almost $10,000. Now look over here. Oh my goodness, this one is only $1,500. Of course I'm gonna go with this one. It is a significant amount cheaper than this one over here. However, let's look at them side by side and compare them, and by the end of this, you may reconsider wanting to go with this cheaper company. So the first coverage we're gonna compare here is media liability. The more expensive quote has coverage of up to $1 million. The less expensive one has no coverage at all. Let's go down here and see what is media liability. Defense and indemnity for claims of libel, slander, copyright infringement, trademark infringement, invasion of privacy, etc., etc. That's something I would want to have coverage for. Let's come back down here. Let's come down here to the second page where it's going to get a lot more interesting. Dependent business interruption. Coverage of $1 million. Over here on the cheaper one, nothing. System failure, again $1 million. The cheap one, nothing. Let's see what both of those coverages are. Dependent business interruption, coverage for financial losses due to a cyber event when a third-party provider experiences an outage that causes you disruption. Third-party often include cloud providers or other software service providers. Seems like this is very likely to happen if there is a cyber event. Probably a coverage you want. System failure. Coverage for business interruption resulting from an unplanned or unintentional outage, often caused by an employee error or power outage. Again, something you want. This is something that is not under your control. If something happens, you want to make sure you have the coverage. On the cheaper policy, you don't have that. Now, this one right here is probably the most important one that you need to pay attention to when you're searching for a cyber insurance policy. Ransomware payment provision. The more expensive one is pay on behalf. The cheaper one is reimburse. What does that mean? Let's come down here. If there is a ransomware claim, the pay on behalf coverage means your insurance carrier will pay that ransom when that occurs. They will pay it for you. Now, if you have reimbursement, that means you, the small business owner, are going to have to pony up the money, the $1 million or whatever it is, to pay that ransom to be able to get things resolved. Now, I don't know about you, but most small businesses don't have that type of money just sitting there to where they can pay it and then wait for reimbursement. Much, much better to have the pay on behalf to where you're not cutting the check, rather your insurance company is taking care of you like an insurance company should. So that's a huge one. Make sure you pay attention to ransomware payment provision. And then let's come down here to invoice manipulation. More expensive one, $250,000. Cheaper one, nothing. This is a big one that gets a lot of people. Invoice manipulation coverage for the release or distribution of a fraudulent invoice or fraudulent payment instructions to a third party as a result of a cyber event. A lot of these hackers, they will send you invoices that look like whatever third party you usually pay. They're very good. They'll send it to you. They'll put their own phone number on there or their own email address on there or their own payment instructions on there. So you may legitimately think you are paying a legitimate bill to a third party, but you're not. Instead, you're paying these hackers directly. You want to make sure you have this coverage. And then the last three, we'll cover them together. Crypto jacking, $100,000. Over here, again, nothing. Reputational harm, $1 million. Nothing on the cheaper one. And then breach response, $1 million, and again, nothing. Let's touch on those three right here. Cryptojacking, coverage for costs associated with unauthorized use of the insurance computer processing power to mine cryptocurrency. Basically, they're hacking into your system and using your power, your computer, to mine cryptocurrency and make themselves money. With the rise of crypto, it's getting more and more popular. This is probably going to be a very important coverage. Reputational harm, coverage for lost income from an adverse media event due to a cyber event that damages the insured's reputation. Probably if your company has a cyber insurance claim, your reputation is most likely going to be harmed. Even though it's not your fault, people are going to hold it against you. You want to have this coverage. And then breach response, coverage for first-party breach costs outside of and in addition to the policy aggregate limit. Again, a coverage that you want. So, as we see here, we don't want to look solely at the price because it can be very misleading. You could come over here to this cheaper one and say, let's buy it. This looks great. But then when the time comes where you actually have a claim, you're not going to have the coverage you need. And so why did you spend this money in the first place? It's worthless. You're basically throwing money away if you don't have the coverage that you actually need. So that's it for today's video, guys. You can see the importance of making sure you know what coverage is on your cyber insurance policy. If you buy the wrong policy, you're going to be very upset when you need to use it and you don't have the coverage. If you need help looking over your options, making sure you have the right coverage, exploring all the coverage options, we're more than happy to help you. Please reach out and we'll jump on a call. Thanks, guys.